Good morning. So we are continuing the discussion about fibre this morning. So we've talked about quite a lot to do with fibre, weight loss included, and weight management more importantly in terms of perimenopausal and menopausal symptoms. So today I want to talk about the fact that fibre can actually help with mood regulation and sleep. So 90 to 95% of our serotonin is actually made in our gut. We only have a small amount actually in the brain. So it's really important that we keep up the serotonin in the gut. One thing to realise, however, is that the serotonin in the gut doesn't get sent to the brain. So that's a bit of a common misconception, to be fair. It doesn't actually directly get sent to the brain. However, the precursor to it, so this is the thing that actually facilitates the production of the serotonin in the gut. This does go to the brain, crosses the blood-brain barrier and helps the brain that way. So that particular thing is tryptophan. So that's what we're looking at in terms of mood. So if your gut health is off, it affects how tryptophan is produced. So basically, if your gut's inflamed, things aren't working properly, then you don't produce enough tryptophan, which then has a direct effect on brain chemistry because the tryptophan's not getting sent to your brain. So adding this diverse range of fibre that we've been speaking about over the last couple of videos helps to make sure that we are keeping the tryptophan at a good level so that it can actually have an effect on the brain. And it can help to improve our mood and it can help to improve our sleep. So tryptophan has an effect on both of those. So it helps in boosting serotonin levels in the brain, which that's kind of our feel-good hormone, but it also gives us the ability to relax at night time and to be able to get a good night's sleep. So adding in these diverse fibres and improving those gut microbes means that we are then helping to combat the effects of the ups and downs that we feel in estrogen. Because estrogen, as I'm sure many of you are aware, has a huge effect or can have on our mood. And for me personally, I literally didn't know what was happening. And your estrogen levels can be up here, and then literally 10 minutes later, they can be through the floor, which gives you this huge roller coaster of emotions throughout the day. And there isn't any other type of mood disorder that is quite the same. So being consistent with our intake of fibre can help us to be able to manage that a little bit better. I think it's important to note that kind of disrupted hormone levels will affect the gut in terms of gut microbiome and gut health and your ability to kind of get nutrients out of your food and that sort of thing. So it's important to note that. So you could think, well, what's the point in trying them? Because actually, whatever I'm going to do is going to be counteracted by the fact that my estrogen levels are off. Estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, to be fair, but mainly estrogen in this case. However, what we come to realise is that although hormones affect how we behave and what we do and how we behave can also affect the severity of symptoms that our hormone dysregulations produce, if that makes sense. So us trying our best to be consistent with these things can help to minimise the symptoms. So it's not going to stop the roller coaster with estrogen and the rest of your hormones, but it can just help us just to take the edge off those symptoms a little bit. Hopefully that makes sense. I have to say, I do appreciate it isn't always that easy, and sometimes if the hormones have taken hold and got in ahead of the game and you're not prepared for it, then it can be almost impossible to kind of get on top of it yourself. So we need to bear this in mind and be doing these things when we're feeling fairly decent and as early on in life as possible, so that then that consistent effort actually produces results at the time when we need it. Okay, so just a little add-on as well, that not only are we looking at improved mood and improved sleep, which will then affect our energy levels as well throughout the day, but also improve cognitive ability. So our ability to basically get through life and, write things down or remember things, the whole lot, that whole brain fog thing is helped by improving gut diversity with fibre. So it's important not to go too far. I mentioned in the last video that if I eat too much, if I kind of go all in with fruits and vegetables, that I used to years ago, I'd be doing like a 2-litre green smoothie every morning, and then it'd be, I'd have loads of other greens and that sort of thing. When I hit perimenopause fully and these things started happening to my gut, that changed. So now I can't eat as much as I used to do. However, it is improving again. The consistency that I've introduced is improving. My ability to actually digest those things again now. So even if you have to go a teaspoon at a time with things, that will still make a difference, because every teaspoon of something that you eat is encouraging those gut microbes to come back, the gut microbes that we need to digest that food. And I'm going to do separate videos on that, because it's kind of a whole subject on its own. But what I'm saying is, even if it's a tiny amount and you think, well, what's the point? There is a point, and that steady consistency over time is where you're going to get the big results. So consistency, small amounts, and diversity. So lots of different types of things. We tend to go to the supermarket, don't we, or to wherever we get our produce from, and buy the same things over and over again. So it's a good idea to look at using different things. So if you always have rice, try quinoa, try buckwheat, there's freekeh, there's all sorts out there that you can try. If you always buy oranges, try apples next week, or have a look for a different type of fruit that perhaps you've not had before. And the same with vegetables, try different ones and add them in. Your beans and pulses, there's all sorts of different ones that you can try. So it's just about creating that diverse gut microbe, basically, so that we can increase tryptophan, increase our mood, increase energy levels, increase cognition, and get a better night's sleep. Let me know how you get on. I'll speak to you soon.